Let us continue the previous lecture on measurement of high voltages. Here we are going to be learn the measurement of capacitance and loss tangent. A high voltage shearing bridge is used for the measurement of capacitance, quality factor and dielectric loss of a capacitor. So this high voltage shearing bridge is considered to be one of the important AC bridge. Figure shows the high voltage shearing bridge. It consists of four arms. This is the first arm, this is second arm, this is third arm and this is the fourth arm. So there are four arms. In the first arm a capacitor C1 is connected in series with the resistance R1. The capacitor C1 is the imperfect capacitor whose capacitance is to be determined. So in this first arm we are going to be connect a insulator or a capacitor whose capacitance is to be determined. So here C1 is considered to be that imperfect capacitor whose capacitance is to be find out, and in series with this capacitor C1 a small resistance R1 is represented. So it is representing the loss component of the capacitor C1. Then in the second arm we have a capacitor C2. So this C2 is the loss free standard capacitor. Then in the third arm we have the variable resistor R3. So it is non-inductive resistor, it is a pure and non-inductive resistor which is variable in nature. Then in the fourth arm we have a parallel combination of resistance R4 and C4. So here R4 is the non-inductive resistance connected in parallel with the capacitor C4 and C4 is the variable capacitor. Here we have the four connecting points, that is A point, B point, C point and D point. A source is connected across the point A and C and the galvanometer is connected across the point B and D. Here Z1 is the impedance of first arm, Z2 is the impedance of second arm, Z3 is the impedance of third arm and Z4 is the impedance of the fourth arm. And then E1, E2, E3, E4 are the voltage drop across each arm. So under the bridge balance condition we have Z1 by Z2, it is equals to Z3 upon Z4. So here it will be given, final condition is given by Z1 into Z4, it is equals to Z2 into Z3. So this is a final condition. So here Z1 is the impedance of the first arm. So in the first arm we have a capacitor C1 and the small resistance R1. So its impedance is represented as R1 plus 1 by j omega C1. Then it is multiplied with the impedance Z4. So Z4 is the impedance of the fourth arm. It consists of parallel combination of C4 and R4. So its impedance is represented as R4 divided by 1 plus j omega C4 R4. Then the right hand side, it is the product of Z2 and Z3. So Z2 is the impedance of a second arm. It consists of capacitor C2. So its impedance is represented as 1 by j omega C2, and Z3 is the impedance of the third arm. It consists of a variable resistor R3. So its impedance is represented by simply R3. So after simplifying this equation and separating or equating the real part with the real part and imaginary part with the imaginary part, finally we get the value of R1 equals to C4 R3 upon C2, and the value of the capacitor whose value is to be determined is given by C1 equals to C2 R4 divided by R3. So in this way, using this capacitor, using this high voltage shearing bridge, the value of the unknown capacitor can be determined. So we'll see what is dielectric loss. Dielectric loss is the loss of energy occurring in a dielectric which is dissipated in the form of it it can be parameterized in terms of either the loss angle del or the corresponding loss tangent tan of del. Tan of del is called as the loss angle or a dissipation factor or a loss tangent. It helps to determine the quality of the insulation. The insulation is compared to a parallel plate capacitor. In a perfect capacitor, the voltage and current are phase shifted by 90 degrees. If there are impurities in the insulation like water traces, moisture and air pockets are present over there, then the resistance of the insulation decreases, the resulting in a increase in a resistive current through the insulation. Therefore, it is no longer a perfect capacitor. The current and voltage will no longer be shifted by 90 degree. It will be somehow less than 90 degrees. The extent to which the phase shift is less than 90 degrees is indicative of the level of insulation contamination or a dielectric loss. This loss angle is measured and analyzed. The angle del in the phasor diagram is the dielectric loss angle for the given capacitor C1. If you observe this phasor diagram, so what is happening here? The in case of a purely resistive, if you have a purely resistive circuit, then we know the phasor relationship that the voltage and the current, they are in phase. So here if we consider voltage as a reference, so in that case the resistive current is always lying in phase with the voltage over there. So this is a representation of your uh, current, that is resistive current over there. Then if you consider the case of a pure capacitor, so in case of pure capacitor, the current is going to be lead the voltage by 90 degrees. So if this is voltage is taken as a reference over there, so with respect to the voltage, the current IC, it is going to be lead this voltage by 90 degrees. So this angle is 90 degree because in pure capacitor current leads the voltage by 90 degree, and the resultant of this current IR and IC is nothing but the total current I. So this resultant will be plotted by drawing a parallelogram, and this resultant will be a current I over here. So the angle between this IC and I, it is del, and the angle between the IR and I, it is represented by phi over there. So here the angle del, it is less than 90 degrees, so it is 90 minus phi. So here the condition is sin theta equals to theta and tan theta equals to theta. So tan of del equals to sin of del. So here phi plus del, it is equals to 90 degree. Total angle is 90 degree. So therefore del will be equals to 90 minus phi. So here tan of del, it is equals to sin of del equals to sin of 90 minus phi, that is equals to cos of phi. So here the factor tan of del, it is given by IR upon IC, or if you draw the impedance triangle, so in that case if you see this, here this angle is del, this compound will be your resistive component, that is R1, then this compound is corresponding to the capacitor C1, and this will be the finally impedance component over here. So this is XC1 component, that is reactive component. So this is a complete impedance triangle, and from this impedance triangle if you take the tan of del, so in that case it will be equals to R1 by XC1. So here XC1 is nothing but the capacitive reactance of capacitor C1, so it is given by 1 by omega C1. So if you shift that term on the say numerator side, so in that case the finally the equation of tan of del will be equals to omega R1 C1. So this will be one form, and we have the equation for R1 and C1. So if you put the values of R1 and C1 from the equations available with us, then in that case we'll get the dissipation factor or this loss of tangent. Final equation is equals to omega R4 C4. So using this two formula, tan of del equals to omega R1 C1 and tan of del equals to omega R4 C4, we can find out the dielectric loss or the loss tangent of a dielectric over there. So with the help of this high voltage sharing bridge, we can find out the capacitance as well as the loss tangent or the dielectric loss of a insulating material. So this is all about unit number 5. Hope you have understood.